The most closely guarded secret of the Nine Realms is the existence of the Interdimensional Realm Pigs, the true power behind the realms. When two of these pigs find themselves in the same realm by some magical coincidence, there's only one way to solve that kind of porky problem, with the Porkening, a grand race for the ages. One such race took place with Tekwin, the realm of the heavens prized interdimensional race pig, taking on Derek from the realm of metal. Tekwin reigned supreme, but the best dwarves in the corner of Derek were not pleased. They suspected foul play, so sought out an impartial referee for the inevitable and much demanded rematch. However, after a grueling hunt in the woods featuring much hollering, it was determined that the Squigfoot is merely a myth. With that disappointment freshly on their minds, the best dwarves then sought to even the playing field, suspecting the Stormcast of illegally greasing their interdimensional race pig. So they travelled to the realm of death to find the greasiest substance known throughout the Nine Realms, barred sandwich grease, guarded by legendary vampire Georg Foreman. After successfully retrieving 2 buckets of grease, all that remained was to carry Derek back to the realm of heavens. Jeff the Chimera was tasked with this sacred mission, and he was successfully able to airdrop Derek past the clutches of numerous great unclean ones directly into the realm gate. So now we have yet again Tekwin and Derek occupying the same realm. This will not stand. The Stormcast have learned of Derek's incursion into their lands, and they have dispatched Tekwin to race him yet again in the rematch of the century in their freshly upgraded Porkening racecourse. Who will come out on top during this apocalyptic encounter? Tekwin, yet again, or Derek, now aided with 2 fresh buckets of grease? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the backstory. Now it's time for the action. Here it is, the legendary Porkening racetrack in the realm of the heavens, freshly upgraded with realm gates, and a giant golden statue in the centre to commemorate Tekwin's victory last time out. As you can see in this corner, we have the forces of the best dwarves, and over there we have the forces of the Stormcast Eternals. We'll get to those shortly. First things first, we're going to go over these very, very simple and straightforward, streamlined scenario rules. In this corner we have Derek. In this corner we have Tekwin. At the end of each battle round, those 2 pigs will move around the track towards the realm gates and eventually towards each other, with the ultimate aim catching up and consuming the other pig. If no pig is caught up with the other by the end of the game, then whoever has travelled the furthest will be declared the supreme Baconator. Each race pig will have a default speed of 3d6. However, there are ways to boost that, and they are as follows. Whichever side inflicts the most wounds during the battle round will add an additional 2d6 onto the speed of their pig. If you end the battle round within 6 inches of your own pig, you will generate an additional d6 of speed. On the other hand, if you end the battle round within 6 inches of the enemy pig, you will remove 1d6 of speed, so those 2 effects could cancel each other out. And finally, if you successfully kill the enemy commander during a turn, you will add an additional d6 to your pig's speed. Now to the realm gates. When the pigs reach these fabled interdimensional portals, they will be propelled through them, doubling the speed that they achieve on the dice. So quite huge distances could be leapt in a single bound by these amazing racing pigs. However, travelling through realm gates is not without risk. A d6 will be rolled each time a pig attempts to pass through the realm gate. On the roll of a 1, the giant golden statue in the centre of the arena will come to life and attack that pig's army. On the roll of a 2, a mysterious being will swoop down from the skies and carry the pig back a certain distance, back towards the realm gate that he just passed through. And finally, if any units happen to be touched by one of the interdimensional racing pigs as they're hurtling along the track at untold speed, that unit will suffer D3 mortal wounds. So that is not a place you want to be.
Now listen! We are back! We, the best dwarfs, with me! Their great leader, the authentic highest dwarf, with my dwarven riding beast! Now we will see who is victorious in the ultimate rematch between our interdimensional racing pigs! We brought Derek from the realm of metal once again, and this time we have a few tricks up our sleeve. So look out, golden boy!
That filthy wretch Derek seems to have invaded our realm again, and he's looking a little bit greasy if you ask me. To arms, my brothers! Tekwin shall reign supreme! Only the faithful and all that!
Here we have the forces of the best dwarves, of course, led by the authentic Dwarven King, mounted on his Dwarven Warbeast, which is very not squig-like, and these forces will be commanded by Dreddy via the power of the internet.
Hi, how are you doing? Hi.
So, in the forces of the best dwarves, we have a Moon Clan Grot Shaman sitting atop this tower. We have a Grot Warboss atop Great Cave Squig. I mean, authentic Dwarven King atop Dwarven Warbeast. We have 10 Iron Drakes, 10 Thunderers, a Cannon, a Bolt Thrower, and a Grudge Thrower. We have a Cogsmith in between all those war machines. We have the Gyrocopter. Round here we have Alric Bigbutts, the legendary big-cheeked slayer. We have 20 Hammerers. We have 10 Longbeards with great weapons. So, there we have the forces of the best dwarves. In addition, in reserve for the best dwarves, we also have a unit of miners who are waiting to make their underground advance. Over here we have the noble forces of the Stormcast Eternals. Starting down here, we have 2 Concussors. We have 5 Retributors. We have the Knight Heraldor. We have the Lord Celestant on Dracoth. We have 5 Liberators. We have the Knight Venator with his mighty bow and eagle. We have 3 Prosecutors and 5 Judicators. As you can see, the forces are starting relatively close to the realm gates, which can be used for teleportation in addition to their role in the Porkening race. And finally, a couple of mysterious terrain pieces. We have a deadly Dragonfate Deus over here, and all the way on this side in the ruins, which are not housing dwarf miners, they're just sitting there waiting for their underground advance. This is a mystical piece of terrain. Okay, it's time for the roll-off to see who's going to get the choice of going first in battle round number 1. This is the official orange Stormcast dice. Here we go. It's a 3.
Dun, dun,
What
dun.
can Dreddy do?
Let's see what I can do. I can do a 3. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again, starting with the best
A
dwarves.
2.
A 2.
There we go, it's a 2.
Okay, let's see what the Stormcast can do to counteract that. It's a 1.
Well,
So that means the best dwarves are going to have the choice of going first or second.
I will go first.
The best dwarves have begun their slow advance towards the Stormcast. They haven't covered too much ground, they're being careful not to step on the piggy racing track for fear of Derek accidentally mowing them down. The gyrocopter's moving over that way. Down here you can see that the Grudge Thrower had Mystic Shield cast on it by the Moon Clan Grot Shaman from atop the tower, and these shooter units are slowly working their way around here to guard against any incursions from within the Realm Gate. We decided, by the way, that for teleporting through the Realm Gates in this game, you can only teleport from one Realm Gate to the other rather than from one Realm Gate to a board edge, just to keep things a bit tidier. Then, in the shooting phase, the War Machine battery all took aim, and first of all the Bolt Thrower fired 2 bolts towards Harold the Knight Heraldor, who you'll notice is no longer there. It got him down to 1 wound, and then the cannon, with the rerolls with the assistance of the cogsmith, managed to finish him off. Oh dear, oh dear. But then the grudge thrower fired both its rocks at the Lord Celestant and missed with both. So that was the entire Best Dwarf's turn. They inflicted 5 wounds, so to prevent Derek from getting a bonus to his speed, for inflicting the most wounds, the Stormcast is going to have to do 5 or more wounds. And another thing about Derek, I'm not sure if we mentioned earlier, he has those grease buckets that he acquired in a previous game, so he's going to be able to re-roll his pig speed twice throughout the game, once for each bucket.
Pig speed!
Stormcast Eternals, turn 1, and the advance is certainly on. The Lord Celestant, with his run roll, got further than everybody else, as you can see. The Concussors have moved up, as have the Prosecutors, the Liberators, the Judicators, and the Knight Venator. Over here you can see that the Retributors have parked themselves next to that realm gate, ready to jump through it at any moment, next turn most likely, and as an act of vengeance against Harold the Heralder's untimely demise, when he was only 1 day away from retirement, well, that's actually completely untrue, he was only 1 day into his role in the Stormcast Eternals army, so fresh on the scene, immediately gunned down. So the Knight Venator decided to try and have some swift vengeance by targeting the Cogsmith. So knowing that if I killed him I could equal the 5 wounds that the Best Dwarves inflicted, which would mean that the pigs aren't going to get any bonus at all for their speed. However, I could only inflict 3 wounds on him with the combined power of the bow and the eagle. So that means the Best Dwarves are going to have +1. None of my other shooting units were able to get in range of the forces of the Best Dwarves. So now it's time for the apocalyptic piggy movement. So, rolling for the movement of Tekwin, he's going to have 4 dice because I have units within 6 inches of him. As you can see, I've left a nice clear path for him to run through towards the realm gate. So a nice big roll to get me right to that realm gate now would be quite nice. So, here we go. Oh dear, that's not very good. So I got a 2, a 2, a 2 and a 6. So 12 inches Tekwin is going to move. So there he is, pigging along. As you can see, he didn't quite make it to the realm gate yet. However, I have a feeling that Derek might have a little bit more luck, because he's going to be using 6 dice. And here we have the Best Dwarves rolling for Derek, 6 dice.
Pig velocity! That's not too great, that's like 9, 11, 13, 15, 18. I think I want to re-roll that with one of my magical grease bucket re-rolls. Because I have so many dice right now that it's worth it. Let's re-roll it. Let's use a re-roll.
Let's see if it can get even worse.
Oh, there's 3 ones in there. Are you kidding me? It's worse. It's actually worse. It's 16. I got greedy.
Despite the fact that they heavily greased up Derek, he only moves 16 inches, which should be enough to get him into the realm gate, which is going to double his movement. So we'll see where he ends up. So Derek, as you can see, passed through the realm gate, doubling his speed, and he's propelled himself right towards this corner. So Tekwin has got to watch out for that realm of metal pig speeding along behind him. However, because he passed through the realm gate, we're now going to have to move over here to the old laptop again for the roll to see what random effect happens from passing through the realm gate. So a single dice, 1 or 2 would be very bad.
Dun, 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 dun. It's a 4, we're good.
Nothing happens. So the potential swooping madness in the sky does not come down yet, and the giant remains dormant for now. So let's have the roll off to see who has the choice of going first in battle round number 2, and I suspect both sides would take it because there are certain units within range to strike. So here we go for the Stormcast. It's a 1. And let's see what the Best Dwarves can get.
I can get higher than that. I can get a... what is it? It's a 6.
I assume the Best Dwarves are going to go first again.
Yes, indeed.
So, very, very eventful second battle round for the Best Dwarves, trying to press home their advantage of getting their Realm Pig much further than the Stormcast in the initial turn. However, when I say very, very eventful, I was really referring to movement, because most of them moved, to kind of plug this potential gap in their defences, as the Stormcast could come pouring through this realm gate at any moment, and also defending against the Lord Celestant, who is eyeing up a charge into some of their forces. However, the shooting phase wasn't as successful as the movement. But first of all, in terms of the hero phase, the Hammerers are not going to be taking battle shock tests, and the Cogsmith was given a Mystic Shield, because they see him as the crucial piece into their Iron Weld arsenal that they've got there. They don't want him going down and limiting the effectiveness of their war machines. And then over here the Iron Drakes moved into position to fire. So half the Iron Drakes that managed to get within range, and all 3 war machines fired at the Lord Celestant. They inflicted quite a large number of wounds on him potentially. However, he made every single armour save. One of them with the reroll that he gets for having his shield. So, the Lord Celestant is just an absolute tank, soaking up damage, 0 wounds inflicted by the best dwarves, despite all that firepower being poured into that one model. Oh dear. So putting all their eggs in the Lord Celestant death basket may well come back to bite the best dwarves next turn. Inflicting 0 wounds means I only need to do 1 to get that juicy pig speed bonus. We're going to have a bit of live action for you now in the Stormcast turn 2, because the Retributor unit, 5 models are going to pass through the Realm Gate. So I'm going to do the roll for them live on camera to see if they die on the roll of a 1, because it might be funny, and I'm sure you'd like to see that, so here we go. 5 dice being rolled. There is a single 1, so one of the Retributors is killed by the teleportation process. Wow. We are partway through Stormcast Eternals turn 2. We're about to enter the combat phase, so I'm going to sum up what's happened so far. The advance was quite steady in the centre here. You can see the Liberators have actually done well to make it up that far. The Concussors, though, only rolled 1 inch for their runs, they didn't go very far at all. Prosecutors running over here to harass Derek, so they're going to be taking a dice away from him. Then I had an awful lot of shooting. So first of all, the Lord Celestant, who was here a minute ago, used his shooting attack to plonk his fiery breath right down there, and it spread some wounds around. It took a wound off the Cogsmith, it took away one of the Grudge-thrower crew, and it also put some wounds onto the Moonclan Grot Warlord as well. And you can see that he charged into the Hammerers after that. These guys here, the Retributors, who emerged from the Realm Gate, having lost one of their men, they charged into the Iron Drakes. And other shooting-wise, the Knight Venator fired his eagle at the Gyrocopter. The Gyrocopter, which had already taken most of its wounds from the Judicators, who were back there. So the eagle successfully finished off the Gyrocopter, and then the Knight Venator used his arrows to put the final wound onto the Cogsmith. So the war machines are no longer going to be receiving that tasty buff. The Prosecutors also fired with their wonderful throwing celestial hammers, but they failed to do any damage at all to the Hammerers. So we're about to go into the combat phase, and we'll report back with the result of that. But it's looking like the Stormcast are up on wounds at the moment, but with some lucky rolling, the Dwarves could actually still win on wounds for this turn. We shall see. So the result of the combat phase, it was quite devastating. So first of all, the Retributors struck first on the Iron Drakes, and you can see that they caused 6 casualties. So quite tasty there. The Hammerers then decided they were going to have a go at the Lord Celestant to try and bring him down before he struck, and they did put quite a few wounds on him. They put 4 on him. He made quite a lot of saves though, and with one of those saves being a reroll, then that put a mortal wound onto the Hammerers, which wasn't very nice for them. And then when he struck back, he killed 7 of them with a combination of his Tempestus Hammer, which was boosted by D3 attacks for charging in, and also his Dracoth as well. Then the Iron Drakes struck back, and also the Moonclan Grot Warlord piled in as well, because he was within 3 inches. So with their combined fury, 1 wound was inflicted onto the Retributors. I think it came from the Grot, or should I say the authentic Dwarven Thane on his Dwarven Warbeast. They're not going to require Battle Shock, even though they lost someone to the teleportation process, because they're within 24 inches of the Lord Celestant, and he used that command ability. So no Battle Shock for the Stormcast. As far as the best dwarves, the Hammerers aren't going to need one, because they're within 16 inches of a dispossessed hero, and also they had the Ignore Battle Shock inspiring presence on them anyway, just in case. So it's only the Iron Drakes and the Grudge Thrower crew that are going to need Battle Shock. So let's go for the Iron Drakes first. 6 casualties. Looking at the screen here.
Iron Drakes! Oh, that's a 6 plus 6.
12.
6 more, run away.
So
no, 5 more.
Yeah, the bravery is 7. 5 more Iron Drakes going to run away, which is all of them. So the Iron Drakes are gone. It was so terrifying that they've run away. And now the Grudge Thrower crew. So they've taken 1 casualty, they have bravery 6.
Would 3?
Okay, so they're fine. They don't mind that one bit. They think they're okay with just 2 crewmen. They didn't like the other guy anyway, who was always hogging the best place to sit on the machine.
Yes.
Now it's time for the apocalyptic racing, starting with Tekwin, who has his own troops within 6 inches of him. So he's going to be getting a bonus dice for that, and also Stormcast Eternals did far more wounds this turn than the best dwarves. So 6 dice for Tekwin. Here we go. Oh, that is a good roll. He's got 6, a 5, a 1, a 4, a 2, and a 5. So that is a total of 23 for Tekwin, which he's going to go through the Realm Gate with, so he's actually going to double that. So that's going to be an obscene range of 46 inches.
Holy crap.
So that could actually take him to the next Realm Gate as well, so let's see. So Tekwin has whizzed all the way around the track, blazing a trail of heavenly goodness, and he's made it so close to the other Realm Gate. If he'd got in there as well, there's a pretty good chance he could have caught Derek immediately. So now we're going to have Derek's roll, which is the slightly less impressive 2 dice. So here we go, let's see how far Derek can go to keep away.
Oh, 11, that's almost the maximum of 2 dice. There you go.
I don't think the bucket of grease is going to be used on that roll, is it?
Nope.
So Derek has moved roughly halfway between the 2 corners, heading towards that other Realm Gate quickly, because it looks like Mr. Tekwin is going to have a bit of Realm Gatey goodness in his next go. So he could have a chance to eat Derek whole in the next turn, unless the best dwarves can do something about it. So we're going to have the crucial roll-off to see who's going to go first in the 3rd battle round now. So let's start with the Stormcast Eternals. It's a 2, and the best dwarves.
I will use my magic beholder dice, and it's a 5.
Right. I assume the best dwarves are going to go first in battle round number 3?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we're right at the start of the best dwarves turn 3, and we're going to come to you now because there's been some drama. The Moon Clan Grot Shaman atop the mystical tower over there. It's not really that mystical though. He cast an arcane bolt down onto the Lord Celestant and inflicted 3 mortal wounds, so the Lord Celestant is dead, which means you heard that authentic dwarven cackling going on there. Then that's freed up the hammerers, so they've decided they're going to actually jump through the Realm Gate. But before they do that, I'll just tell you quickly that Inspiring Presence was put onto the Thunderers. We're going to now have a live roll for the hammerers passing through the Realm Gate to see how many of them perish. 12 hammerers passing through the Realm Gate. Here we go. How many ones are in there?
There's a single one. Just one slips and gets lost between the dimensions.
1 dead hammerer. So you join us just before the combat phase of the best dwarves turn 3. So the War Machine battery unloaded everything it had into Mr. Knight Venator, but they could only get him down to 1 wound, taking 4 off him, which is why the hammerers ultimately decided to charge into him, because they don't like him at all, mainly because of his bird, apparently. The Thunderers fired into the Retributors, and they took down one of them. One of them's taken a bit of damage as well, and then they were charged by the Longbeards, and also by Mr. Alric Bigbutts as well. And also the War Boss is still in range to pile in again on them. The Miners, who popped up down here, 9 inches away from the enemy, attempted a really long charge, possibly into the Prosecutors, but they failed it. So, we're going into the combat phase now, and it's getting very, very juicy. Quite a few wounds already inflicted by the best dwarves. They're going to need quite a few more to make sure that Derek is not going to be at a huge disadvantage at the end of this turn, because he could get gobbled alive otherwise, with Tekwin poised right next to that Realm Gate. One thing that we totally didn't forget as well, when Tekwin rushed through the portal, a dice was rolled, and it came up with a 1, which means that this golden giant in the middle has joined the best dwarves. It's a fickle beast, and it's obviously going to attack the Dracoth since it's standing right over them. So that could be really bad news for the Stormcast Eternals. We are now post-combat phase for the best dwarves, and the Hammerers struck first, taking down the Knight Venator, so all the Stormcast heroes are now dead. Next up, the Concussors, realising that this huge golden giant who was activated by the magical portal energies and decided to attack them, they thought we better sufficiently weaken him so he can't do too much to us when he wants to headbutt us and kick us in the shins and whatnot. So they absolutely slaughtered him and took 9 wounds off him, so he was down to 3 wounds, which is really going to hinder his combat prowess. Then, as we swing over here into this big mess, you'll notice that 4 of the Longbeards are gone, 1 more of the Retributors has departed, and Mr. Big Butts is in there as well. He didn't take any damage. So, a fair bit of damage done to the Stormcast there, a little bit on the Longbeards, so we're going to see what happens to them with Battle Shock shortly. When the giant struck back on the Concussors, you can see that he did absolutely nothing to them, unfortunately for him. And I think that sums up the combat phase, because Mr. Squig-mounted Warlord, or should I say authentic Dwarven Thane on Dwarven Warbeast, was put out of range due to the death of one of the Retributors, so he couldn't quite pile in. That's the end of the turn, apart from Battle Shock. Okay, the Retributors, Bravery 7, they took 2 casualties this turn, so here we go. It's a 1, so they're fine. Okay, Longbeards, Bravery 7, they're taking 4 casualties. Here we go.
It's a 2.
Okay, so that's a total of 6, which is below their bravery, so they are fine.
Yes.
High drama in the Stormcast Eternals turn 3. You may notice the giant has been felled. That was with a lot of shooting. The Judicators only put 2 wounds on him, which meant he had 1 left. So I needed to get another wound on him, so the Concussors could then charge off into another unit in the charge phase. So the Prosecutors fired threw their Celestial Hammers at the giant. 1 hit him right in the eye, took off his final wound. However, with the roll-off to determine which way the giant falls, of course Dreddy won, so the giant fell and put D3 mortal wounds on the Prosecutors and the Concussors. And they both took 3 wounds from that. So one of the Concussors is down to 2 wounds, and one of the Prosecutors is dead, and one of them has also had his arm smashed. So the giant's gone, but he caused quite a bit of damage with his fall. Then, down here, the Liberators moved up, and with a really long charge, they got 11-inch charge, they managed to join in this fighting down here. Some of them even managed to get to the totally authentic Dwarven Thane on his Dwarven Warbeast as well. So we're heading into the combat phase now. We've got quite a bit of action down here, and the Concussors versus the Hammerers is going to be a battle for the ages, I'm sure. We are at the end of the Stormcast Eternal combat phase, and as you can see I have a new ingenious method for marking which unit activated in which order, by putting a dice with a number on it next to them. So, quite a genius move there for any battle reporters out there that want to steal that. I'll be entitled to 25% of your ad revenue. Starting up here with the Concussors. Well, they just completely annihilated, they severely concussed the Hammerers, and just killed all of them in one fell swoop. Those guys are tasty. Moving down here, the Butt Slayer, Mr. Alric Big Butts, decided to strike next, and I don't think he did too much. I think he just killed 1 Liberator. Then, when the Retributors struck, they killed all the Longbeards before they could have a chance to strike, with some nice rolling there, so they were all dead. Then, the authentic Dwarven Thane on Dwarven Warbeast struck, and he killed 2 Liberators, I think. One of them was already wounded though, so 1.5 Liberators for him. And then when the Liberators struck, they put a wound on him and a wound on Mr. Big Butts as well. So we're going to need some Battle Shock now. So we've got the Bravery test in the Battle Shock phase for the Liberators here. They've lost 3 models and they've got Bravery 6, so this could be quite bad for them. Here we go. It's a 4, so that's a total of 7, which means that another model is going to run away. Oh dear, so there's only 1 of them left now. Off he goes, and also that contributes 2 more wounds to the best dwarves wound pool to determine which one of the pigs is going to get the bonus dice as well. Now, the Prosecutors also took some damage this turn. They lost 1 model, so they've got Bravery 6. So if I roll a 6, another one will depart. So here we go. It's a 5, so luckily none of them disappear. And we're also going to remove the giant's corpse now, as decorative and lovely as it is, and then it'll be on to the apocalyptic racing. So we're going to do Derek's roll first, because there is a chance Tekwin could catch him if he doesn't get a very good one. So here we go.
3 die! Oh, that's 8. I will re-roll that with my magic re-rolling ability.
Could be
but
crucial.
I just used up completely by doing this, but I hope it will be worth it. There we go. It's a bit more. It's 11.
11 inches. So we will move Derek and then we'll figure out what Tekwin needs to catch him. So this could be the end of the game right here, because Tekwin is about to roll 5 dice. Because he's not having any taken away for these war machines being near him, because 1 Liberator is there as well. So we've just had a quick measure to add to the drama, and there is 43 inches between Tekwin and Derek. But because he's so close to the portal, he's going to be doubling whatever he gets on the dice, assuming he actually makes it to the portal, which he would have to. So, if I roll a total of 22 on these 5 dice, he will catch and devour Derek, and the Stormcast will reign supreme. So, here we go. Need a total of 22 to end the game right here at the end of turn 3. Right, we have a 5, a 5, so there's 10. We have a 6, there's 16. Then we have 3 on these dice here, so that is 19 inches. So he's not going to catch Derek, but he's going to get pretty damn close. So we'll move Tekwin, and then we'll come back and show you how that turned out. And as you can see, look how close this is. This is going to be really, really tense for the best dwarves and for Derek. He's got Tekwin breathing right down his neck. And also, the Stormcast Eternals have so many troops around here that surely they're going to be within 6 of both the pigs next turn. So I think it could be curtains for Derek very, very soon. He better start hanging himself in the smoking shed, salting up his thighs, because he is about to be devoured, I think. Okay, here we go. The roll-off for battle round number 4 to see who's going to get the choice of going first, which could be quite important. So, Stormcast Eternals, here we go. It's a 5, which is the highest they've got yet. Now we're going over to the best dwarves.
Dun 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 dun! It's a 3.
Oh, the Stormcast are going to have the opportunity for 2 turns in a row right now, for the first time in the game, and that could be crucial, especially with Derek so precariously close to being devoured. So the Stormcast Eternals turn 4 so far. The Judicators are the only unit that have stayed back because they want to be near the pigs, and they then unleashed their bows down here into the miners, and you can see that they've killed 3. So they're going to need some battle shock at the end of this turn. Then over here, all these units made it into combat. However, before that, the Prosecutors utterly failed with their hammers to damage anybody, and the Concussors, their Dracoths, let out their shocking fiery breath, and those both missed as well. I think they were aimed at the war boss. But they did successfully charge into the war machines here, and then the Prosecutors rolled a 12 for their charge, so they made it into the fight down here with Mr. Alric Big Butts and the war boss. It's going to be a lot of combat coming up, and we'll get back to you very shortly with the result of that. It's not looking good though for the best dwarves right now. Stormcast Eternals combat phase. The Prosecutors went first, and they took some wounds off Mr. Big Butts. You can see now that he's dead, but he did have a go at striking first, and he took out one of the Prosecutors actually. Then he was taken down when the Retributors piled in. They finished him off. Then Mr. Authentic Dwarven Thane on Warbeast came in, and he actually finished off one of the Retributors with his Gaping Gob, or whatever it's called. Then after that, the Dracoths, with the Concussors mounted upon them, struck at the war machines. They killed the Grudge Thrower, put wounds onto the Bolt Thrower, and killed most of the Bolt Thrower crew as well. And then they didn't take any wounds in retaliation when the war machines hit back. Okay, we are into the battle shock phase now. So, the Prosecutors, first of all, have a bravery of 6, they've taken 1 casualty. So, on the roll of 6, they're going to take a further casualty. It's a 5, so they're fine. Now, the Retributors also took 1 casualty, but their bravery is 7, so they can't possibly fail it, so they're going to be alright. And now we've got some bravery tests for the war machines. So, we've got the Grudge Thrower. They lost 1 model, which was the Grudge Thrower itself. So let's see if they can lose another one.
That's a 1.
So they're fine. And the Bolt Thrower took 2 casualties. The Bolt Thrower took 2 crewmen.
Oh, it's a 6. Oh,
it's a 6, so the Bolt Thrower is just gone. Well, the crew are anyway, so technically the Grudge Thrower crew, who are alive, could go and pilot the Bolt Thrower, I think, now. Then we've got the Miners, who took 3 casualties. So, let's see what the Miners are thinking about this whole situation.
bravery 6. I had 3 casualties, right?
Yep, 3 casualties, rolled a 3, so that's
nothing
equal to their
happens.
bravery, so they are fine.
Yes, so we're good.
Although if I were these miners, I wouldn't be too thrilled, since they joined the party late, they've just come onto the battlefield and they've seen a bit of a massacre over here. There's not too many best dwarf forces left, and their pig is being gained on rapidly by the heavenly aroma of that sizzling celestial bacon beast. So, best dwarves turn 4. You can see that one of the prosecutors has been removed, in fact they're all dead now. That's because the thunderers fired at him, he's gone. An arcane bolt from the Grot Shaman almost finished off one of the concussors on Dracoth, but he only put 1 wound on him, so we had 1 left, and then he was finished off, which I think was from the cannon possibly. The Retributor that remains took another wound, so he's got 1 left. That was some of the thunderers fired at him. The miners moved in and attempted a really long charge, but they couldn't quite make it into the fight. So, there aren't many Stormcast models left over here, but there aren't many best dwarf models left either outside of the miners, who really haven't been able to get into the fight at all yet, and it could be about to be over. There's no battle shock this turn, so we're going to total up how many dice we're going to have for our pigs, and then we're going to have what looks like it could possibly be the final roll, with no grease left for Derek. He's all greased up, as greased as he's going to be, and he's only got a 5-inch head start on Tekwin, so it could be all over very soon, although he is closer to the realm gate, so if he reaches it and doubles his speed, and Tekwin doesn't, he could still be in with a chance. We shall see. So, we're about to do the pig racing now. We've determined that Tekwin is going to have 6 dice to chase down Derek's 2 dice, because I've got my troops to within range of both pigs. I inflicted slightly more wounds than the best dwarves this turn, although only slightly. It was actually very, very close. If the Thunderers had rolled a bit better, they could have actually got the advantage there, because I don't have many models left at all to dish out the pain. So, I'm going to have 6 dice, which I've got ready here. First of all, though, we're going to see how far Derek can go, so we know what I need to roll to catch him.
I will use the cheaty dice back lady dice. Let's see if they help. 9.
9, that's
9.
pretty good.
9.
We'll see if that gets into the realm gate. So, Derek didn't quite make it to the realm gate, 1 inch short. So, Tekwin will require 13 inches on 6 dice to catch him and eat him alive this turn. Here we go. 13 inches required. Here go the dice. Well, yep, that's done it. There's a 4, a 6, a 4, a 4, a 4, and a 3. So that's plenty. And look at this. Tekwin, using all his celestial might, unleashes the power of the bacon. He almost fries himself because he's going so fast. And he consumes Derek. Derek has been eaten. Tekwin reigns supreme, and the Stormcast Eternals are victorious despite taking massive casualties. It was totally worth it, because their realm yet again has come out on top. The best dwarves are going to have to go back to the drawing board again. Greece didn't do the job. Here, of course, you can see the best dwarf general with a look of defeat upon her face, with the lewd ball poster in the background. So, how do you feel about that result of the second Porkening race, the Aporkalypse?
Yeah, I think Derek might just not be cut out to be a race pig. I think he might have been disadvantaged from the beginning, being a pig from the realm of metal. Metal being really heavy. I mean, it can reach great velocity if it has enough speed, but apparently Derek's little haunches didn't have enough power in the long run. He might be more of a sprinter than a marathon runner or something, I guess. Even with the extra grease. He just I think he just slipped more in the grease than actually gaining speed, so that plan didn't work out. And we'll have to see what happens next on the Porkening.
So, I just realised we forgot to actually mention that when Tekwin went through this realm gate earlier as well, forgot to capture that dice roll, but it was actually a 4, so there were no unfortunate mishaps when he passed through this one, unlike when he went through that one earlier and the giant popped out. However, we're just going to roll it again now, because he did technically go through this realm gate as well as he passed, so we'll just see if there's any kind of mishap that could interfere with the celebration at the end of the game here. It is a 2. Oh my. So what that means is, Tekwin flies through the realm gate, but then, from the skies above,
You thought you were victorious, but that's what you get. Jeff the douche stole your piggy. Isn't that sad? Oh, look at my authentic dwarven tears and I'm crying right now.
While we may have been victorious, my brothers, it seems we have lost our interdimensional racing piggy. We must retrieve him from the clutches of Jeff the douche.
one such race took place between Tekwin, the realm of the heavens, prized